Welcome back, Phoebe family. It's been a long time since I've been on the air publicly, had anything much to say, but there is much to talk about, much to discuss. So sit back, crack open your favorite beverage, and hang tight. We're going to be part of a long, long live stream we're going to do tonight, and we're going to get into it. So give me just a couple minutes to alert the troops. Let me know that, or let everybody know that I'm online here, and I'll kick off the mic, and we'll get down to it here in just a little bit. You guys that are new with me, I usually turn off my mic while I'm alerting everybody. So if you hear a little silence, it's normal. Go ahead and fast forward if you're listening to a time delayed broadcast. If not, just hang with me. I'll be online here in just a couple minutes. All right, we got everybody all notified. Let everybody know that I'm online. Thank you very much for joining me. My name's Red Baron. If you've never been with me before, I welcome you for the very first time to what we call the Fibby family. We're going to be talking an awful lot about what's going to be happening in the market, what has happened, what will happen, and my deep, deep concern for what's about to happen this week. I am, for those of you who've never listened to me before, I am not to toot my own horn, I'm very, very well connected within the financial industry. I have friends that are in the high, high, high financial stratosphere, and I'm connected all over the world to people that have their finger on the pulse of what's going on in the economy. Plus, I have my own connections within the economy. And so I see in the many verticals of the businesses that I own trends that are not readily apparent to people and are not admitted well on the news. So I'm going to share with you my insight on what is really going on, what's about to happen as I see it, and some trends that as we look back to the 1929 crash, how the parallels are lining up as of yesterday and what you should be doing to build yourself a shelter. You have hours to be able to react to this and be ready. So we're going to cover that. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, if you want to join me in my free Discord, or it's not Discord anymore, it's a habit I'm still in. We're on Gilded, which is basically a Discord clone. Discord got all woke and kicked us off for speaking truth, but we are on Gilded, and you can join us at theunfairadvantage.chat, link right here, as well as the description box below. And we are going to talk crypto. We're going to use my AI powered charts. If you'd like to get in on that, join my upper tier subscribers where I comment hourly, sometimes up to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week on prices and charts and give forecasts. You can do that by joining us at fibbycharts.com. You can subscribe to that to go right on over here. And this is our main website. Just basically go right here where it says subscribe. If you want to know a little bit about the packages, you can go to pricing and subscribe there. I suggest and recommend you get in on at least VIP Gold. Gold level will give you about a good 60 to 70% of what it is I do. It'll give you daily commentary, and that's really, really important because I don't do it in the free rooms. However, the free rooms are better than, kind of not being in on the conversation at all. However, I say that if you're in the free rooms, you're kind of reading yesterday's newspaper because occasionally I'll throw those guys a bone because I do appreciate everybody that takes the time to be a part of our group. But if you're in VIP and you're paying the bucks and you're subscribed to the group, I'm going to give you good value for that. That's my solemn oath to you guys. All right, so once again, thank you very much for joining me, and we're just kind of waiting for a few people to trickle in here. Crypto Lady, Jay Brain, Adam Barely. How you doing, Adam? Are you in our group, Adam? I never see you unless you're going by a different name. I always see your YouTube. I don't know if you're in our actual group interacting very much. I always see you in our YouTube all the time. I know you're a member or have been a member in the past, but I don't know if you're in there very much. Pride Films, got quite a few. So I actually put the word out to YouTube, or I'm sorry, not to YouTube, but to Twitter. So we'll be getting some Twitter people that are going to be joining us here for this discussion as well. So we're going to talk about stock market crash. So guys, as you well know, those of you who are the Fibby faithful that have been around for a while, my group is buzzing about what's about to happen here. I had a recollection that kind of dawned on me here, and I'm gonna quit kind of him hawing around here in a little bit. I'm just waiting for a few people to come in and join the group. But my concern about what is coming here is the stock market is going to lead the crash, and I think we're really on the dawn, or really on the cusp of a stock market crash. I'm seeing indicators that are starting to, by looking at charts, that are kind of becoming the calm before the storm, so to speak. And I alerted everybody in VIP with a a very long kind of rational layout on what was about to happen, and I gave a date, October 30th, October 30th, October 31st, that I thought that we were probably going to see the ultimate expression of what's about to happen here as far as a crash goes. I don't think we're going to make it out of this month. And if we do, we're probably going to come crawling out of it into the first week of November. But just to kind of fudge and hedge my bets a little bit, um, I don't think we're going to make it out of past the first week of November. I just don't think we're going to make it very far into November. Whatever happens, happens. And then we find out about it publicly. It's become, with news suppression, become just pretty much the accepted thing that, you never find out until it's too late to do anything about it, if you find out at all. So just be aware that. Let me back up and kind of really encapsulate what I'm talking about. So there was a lot of talk about all over Twitter, and there's going to be an event that's going to happen on the 23rd of October or the 24th of October. And I came out and I told my group, I said, don't bet that you're going to know what it is. I said something. I have a very, very strong gut feeling something's about to happen on the 24th. 24th was the date that I absolutely said I believe something's going to happen. But I also said, I don't think you're going to find out about it. I don't think you're going to know about it, and it won't be public knowledge. But behind closed doors, I think something's about to happen on the 24th. And so I keep some vampire hours, and I was up at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I just got done with a 21 group meeting, and we've been discussing for a very long time now. The 21 group, for those of you that don't know, it's a group of military trained remote viewers and other disciplines in the woo-woo stuff, as well as financial people and people in business that have nothing to do with woo-woo stuff. It's a collection of 21 people, 22 if you include me. I don't include myself in the group, but that are basically from all walks of life in private and public sectors, government sectors, that have their fingers on the pulse, and they're world advisors. Let's just say that. And for quite a while, there's been a discussion about when's the stock market crash? When's the stock market crash? And somebody said to me, or somebody said in the group a little while back, they said something about, they mentioned 1929, and me, my skill set is pattern recognition. I'm a classically trained automotive engineer, and everything to me is a pattern. Everything, including these charts that I do. That's how I developed the FibiChart system. And so when I look at things in terms of systems and patterns. And so I'm just wired like that. And so when somebody mentioned 1929, immediately it dawned on me. I wonder if there's any kind of a pattern that we could overlay on top of today's events. Now, obviously, clearly 1929 was a different era. Stock market was different. The ways of trading stock were quite a bit different. But that doesn't mean that rich people do what rich people do and poor people have always done what poor people have always done. And so there is, what is old is new again. And so I got to digging through some 1929 facts and just timelines, if you will. And it all started on the 24th. Now, was it public? No. Here's the one thing. I don't want to dig too deeply because a lot of this is above the pay grade of a lot of people that are listening to me. But I want to kind of do some callbacks to things that you hear just kind of generally in passing when you hear about the 1929. Those bastards, all the rich people got out. Well, yeah, they did get out, because that's what rich people do. They're the ones that caused this. They're the ones that cause what's coming now, coming soon. So, I mean, what's old is new again. But it all started on the 24th. Now, one of the phrases that you will hear if you even take a casual observance of the 1929 stock market crash is you will hear how the wealthy people quietly exited the market. You'll hear that term. They quietly exited the market. And when did that happen? Well, it happened starting on the 24th. Yesterday was the 24th. It is October 25th, 2023 right now, and it is starting to happen. I have this on absolute authority and absolute witness. It's rather interesting because I don't think people really understand what's about to happen. In fact, I know they don't understand what's about to happen. I have been lecturing over and over and over. I was the largest non-corporate landowner in my state prior to 9/11, so I know real estate very, very well. I'm still connected to millions and millions of dollars that I advise in my students, my real estate students, in a different discipline and in a different group that I'm a part of, and so I know exactly how real estate prices are doing. We're starting to bring real estate into FibiCharts. If you guys joined me for the first time from our last live stream where we were talking about how to buy property in Arizona or in different parts in Arkansas, Arizona, Nevada, et cetera, for zero or little money down. We're going to be doing that every Thursday, and that will be coming up tomorrow. So join us for that as well. So anyway, I'm connected to real estate, and I have an awful lot of people that I associate with. I'm half a lifetime of friends with that. I know what's going on with real estate. Real estate's about to take a major plunge. I mean, right in the toilet. We're going to be seeing probably about 60 to 70% drop in real estate prices. And I know that seems absolutely unfathomable, but is it? Is it really? Look, let me give you an example. My Uncle Bob came back from World War II, built himself a 5 bedroom, 2 story, can't remember how many square foot, it's a big boy, house for $6,400 in Grimes, Iowa. $6,400. And it had a little beautician, 2-seat beautician shop off the side of it for my aunt who liked to do that. And when he passed away, oh, what was it, 10 years ago, his kids sold that same house for $360,000. So you tell me, is real estate overpriced? Is it just a little bit out of control? I think there's a little bit of wiggle room here, don't you? I mean, granted, things cost more every single year, but that's just out of fucking control, guys. House prices are insanity. My first house, I overpaid $57,000. 25 years ago, I sold that house for $250,000. Now that house is worth well over probably about $400,000. It's absolutely insane. And we're talking about a 2 bedroom bungalow, less than 900 square foot with a 3.5 car garage. And so real estate prices are just going to go in the absolute toilet, and everything else is going to follow it. Bonds are going to be the thing that's going to basically take this country, this world indeed, down. So we're going to discuss an awful lot of things. It's going to be a lot of fragmented thoughts because I just got so much stuff I want to lay out. So I'm watching the chats. If you guys got questions, go ahead and throw them in. I'll answer them sporadically throughout my little rant here. And as people do kind of file in, do join the chat definitely. If you got questions, mix it up, speak with other guys, keep that chat flowing because I want to see what's going on, what you guys are thinking, so I can, address your thoughts. But so I'll in this kind of pre-monologue before we get to the crypto and before we get to the big story here, I do view that October, before we get out of October, we're going to see the seeds have already begun for the crash. October 24th of 2029 was when it started, and people, or the wealthy people, quietly exited the market. So what I was getting ready to say here before I kind of sidetrack myself, that is happening right now. There has been over $80 billion has been taken out of the market in the last, out of banks in the last, what was it, year and a half, something like that. And I have that on absolute highest and greatest authority from Chase Bank. One of my best friends is an executive from Chase Bank, and he's like, it ain't no joke, man. And he was not aware that there are parallels to the 1929 stock market crash. This is a guy that basically runs Chase Bank, doesn't even know his history. And I'm like, come here, have a sit down, Junior. Let me tell you something. And so I showed him this, and so I want to share this with you guys publicly. So this is a friend of mine that's been a friend of mine since I was probably about 2 years old, and he is three down from the upper tier at Chase Bank. He doesn't really know exactly what's going on in the world. So just because you think that these people are well paid and whatever and understand the history, no, they really don't. And so they're just cashing their paycheck, same as you and me. And so anyway, after having a very long heart to heart, I told him what I viewed was coming, and he's like, "Oh crap!" And so he cashed in all of his options, all of his bank options, millions of it, and put it into gold, all of it. And he got some funny looks from the people in the office. He's like, "Oh, I'm just kind of going through a life change." He didn't say squat to anyone, because if he would have, he candidly said to me, if I would have basically made it known in the office that I'm cashing in my options to buy gold because I think everything's going in the toilet, they probably would have reprimanded me, and they might have even fired me for telling the truth. I'm like, shh, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all. I go, you take care of you. Let the dead bury themselves, so to speak. Um, so Marge sent me. I'm reading the chat here. Uh, Yeah, you want to pay for two charts? Yeah, we do have, if you go, by the way, sorry to break from this. If you go to fibicharts.com, there is in there, I'm sorry, I'll break from this because I got to answer a question. If you go into the subscribe, you can actually go to pricing somewhere right inside there. And by the way, we're going to be doing this for a short period of time. Wait for this to come up. You guys have never experienced how accurate, this would be a good time to do it, how accurate the system can be. You can subscribe to the free Bitcoin access to the Bitcoin chart, and that's going to be available for just a short period of time more. So the charts that I'm using on tonight's broadcast actually are the same charts, and so you'll be able to save it. I do want to caution you, do not save links. You have to go through the portal on fibbycharts.com, or you will screw up the system and you will not get accurate data. Do not save links. That's just the way our system goes. So anytime you access our charts, you have to go to fibbycharts.com, go to your account, go through and go to our charts. So it's just one of the charms of being a part of the group. So anyway, back to what I was going to say. If you want to subscribe to the individual charts, I believe somewhere in here. If it's not in here, we'll put it back up. There you go. If you want a special chart that is not available in the subscription, or you just want, you can purchase that, and that will be your chart. And yes, you can save the link on that because it'll be constructed differently. So if you do want to subscribe to a couple different charts, just go ahead and buy 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever you want. Join us at the unfairadvantage.chat, and this will be a lifetime thing that you have lifetime access to. Now, bear in mind that when you do that, you're just going to see the live data. You're not going to see, I'm not going to be notating it for you. If you're in VIP Gold or up, you're going to see all the notations and all the spaghetti that I throw at this every single day. So just understand that. I'll give you a few starting comments and basically a couple of months projections on that. And then after that, basically, you'll have to just basically ask me, hey, what about this? What about this? And I can refer to the chart. So just thought I'd let you know on that. All right. So getting back to where I'm at, boy, I just got a lot of stuff to chuck at you here tonight. So I'm expecting basically by the end of the month. So we're going to start answering some questions. So if you guys got questions, what do I do? What do I do? A lot of you guys already know what to do. I've been telling you what to do for a long, long time. Obviously, you need to stock up. You need to get your money out of these financial institutions. So I didn't make this public as I was talking to the group. I made it. I basically posted it in the group, the free group room, and up. I posted. I didn't post it public in YouTube. The warning video that I did last night, and so I'm going to share with you my strategies for all levels. If you guys want to listen to it, take it for what it is. If you guys want to do it, I am not your financial advisor, your guru. You wear your big boy pants or big girl pants. What you do because you want to, not because some guy on the internet told you to. But I'll tell you what I would do if I was in your situation, just to give you food for thought. Fair deal? Okay. So I had first question. I had one of our members who's in here, double down if you don't mind me outing you. He's talking about pulling home equity. So as a real estate guy and as a very big real estate guy, here's what I have to say about this. And I told the group, uh, would it be a good idea if let's take it back to square one. So if we know, or we think we know, that the stock market's going to crash, bond market's going to follow it, and the whole world's going to burn, would it be a good idea to just basically suck all the equity out of my house and put it into something smart? Well, the answer to that is many-fold. And so I'll take you through the different avenues of this. And I'll because I've dealt with so many facets of credit collections, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, Candidly, and I'm not going to name names, I've got a lot of people that are in this group that send me private messages. Good, many of you become good friends, and some of these guys are diamonds that have fallen on hard times or whatever, going through rough times, businesses are failing and whatnot, and they're calling me on the bat phone, going, Baron, what the hell do I do? I'm happy to spend the time, guys. I'm happy to spend the time because I've been through it all. I'll tell you what I did. You can copy my homework if you like, or whatever. So let's start with the first story. We'll start with double down. So he asked me, should I pull equity out of my house? Now I live in a paid for house. Would I pull equity out of my house? No. I like the security of having my house paid for. The only thing I got to do is my nut is cover my taxes, and I'm good. So the rest of the damn neighborhood is going to get foreclosed out of their house and turn out to be a, BlackRock tenant, but I'm not. And so, which is its own discussion. Just because you got a paid for house and you think you got Oasis, you got to look across the street and think, what's your neighbor going to do? This is why you don't want to be in the city. So I'm tenuous at best about my situation or Chase is tenuous. My son's Chase is tenuous at best about his position living in a paid for house, in the city. And so we're discussing options on that. But as for somebody who had a home equity line of credit, so I'm going to give you several different paths to this answer. Let's assume, granted, you guys in California laugh at me about this. Let's assume you have a $100,000 house, and there are $100,000 houses, California people. It does happen. Every time I talk house prices, some of you guys can't even grasp some of these prices I'm talking about. But let's say you get a $100,000 house. Let's say you've got, a home equity line of credit that you can tap. Well, first of all, from the short period, what I told him about an hour ago, before he told me he had a home equity line of credit, if you were going to just pull or get a second mortgage or whatever, I think it's too late for that because you're going to have to go through the approval process. You're going to have to go through all the stuff that it takes to sit down in front of a banker, get your house assessed and stuff. We don't have that kind of time. As I see it, according to my timeline, we ain't got it. Now, if you do have a home equity line of credit, you got yourself a tool, and if you use it correctly, you can build a hell of a future with it. That's the way that I see it. And so what I told him is this. So the guys that have tied up, locked up liquidity in their house, you're better off going the other direction. If presumably you've got crypto or whatever, just write out your monthly payment and whatnot, and you're going to have to ignore the value of your house. You're just going to have to just suck it up and just say, okay, well, I guess I don't have equity in my house anymore, but I got a house. So the question is are we going to continue to make payments on it, or are we going to take some of our crypto profits when we get them and pay off the house? Well, that would be the swing that I would make probably. I would just pay off the house. Now back to double down. If you have equity, this is a different situation for you. So if you have equity that you can tap, you can pull it out. Do you care to share with the group how much you can get, or is that classified information? I don't want to speak out of turn here. Or you can just make up a number and tell me what you got. Give me something to work with here, double down. I'll theorize for you. Let the professor do his work here. I hate these time delays on questions and answers. I gotta wait, crickets and silence while I wait for an answer. And by the way, if you hear clinking, I'm playing with silver. I just went and don't mind me. I'm just playing with my silver here. All right, I'm not getting an answer from him. I'll shift. So I'll make an assumption here. So let's assume that you got a $20,000 line of credit. Okay. Here we go. Don't forget. Don't even. Plan B inside joke is strippers and cocaine. So that's probably a little further down than Plan B. But if all else fails, you got that. So, but anyway, let's assume. So, answer my question here. I asked you how much of a line of credit do you got, if you don't mind asking, or if you don't mind answering. How much of a line of credit you got? Just throw a number at me. If you don't want to tell me, that's okay. Just make something up. Crickets. So anyway, like I was saying, he'll answer eventually. So let's assume you got 20,000. So I was down at the silver dealer today, and Jerry's a little camera shy, and I just decided, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab some more silver because I got a little bit of money in the sofa cushions. So I cleaned out everything and went in and bought some silver. Got there, parking lot was vacant. I went there and I fully expected to see, just a glut of people in there, and there was nothing. There was one guy, that was it, and he was buying something else. He also trades stamps and stuff. There were no silver dealers. There were no precious metal dealers. What is going on? Granted, it is Wednesday before 5 o'clock, but I mean, generally the retirement crowd doesn't work on a workaday clock, and there was nobody in there. So I get in there, and he was like, hey, how's it going? And we just start talking business. All right, now we're talking. So you got 125. You can do some damage. All right, so I will use 25,000 just to be realistic. Yeah, you and I need to have a private talk. Why are you not in my diamond program? So I'm going to get you there here shortly. So hold on just a second. So let's assume you got 25,000. All right. All right. So let's assume you got $25,000 home equity, which I don't think is unreasonable. So I went and I was talking to Jerry, who's the silver dealer in my local area where I'm at right now. And I said, "What's going on? You're parking?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm surprised too." He goes, "I expected after when the kerfuffle in Israel, I expected just get hammered." And let's call a spade here. And basically, where the first thing that you would expect to see is all the little Jewish ladies come in and just start buying up gold. And I'm not being anti-Semitic or whatever. That's the truth. Basically where this silver dealer is, he's right basically kind of in the old school money area where all the elderly Jewish people are at. Grand Avenue. He's not that far from Grand Avenue. That's where all the old school money is. There's a gigantic synagogue uh, in this area. And so, yes, he said, I expected all the little Jewish ladies. He didn't say it, but that's what he was thinking. I expected all the little old ladies come in here and be buying up gold, and there were none to be found. And so I already had the answer to that. And so obviously all the other filler people that come in and buy gold and silver and whatnot. And he says, but there were none. He said, we had a little bit of a glut, and then that was it, and it was dead. And so I said, you know why that is? It's the same reason as crypto, and I'll share that with you here in just a second. And so he continued talking, and he doesn't, he always likes it when I come in because I kind of give him the prediction on his own business, and it's like it's amazing to me, guys, the people that do business. I mean, he's touching millions of dollars of silver every single day, and it's like he might as well be selling rice or something like that. He just doesn't have a deeper understanding of the implications of just the way that silver plays into the bigger picture. And he's third generation. Second generation, his son's working with him, third generation, and neither one of them really understand, what's about to happen. And I've kind of hipped him to a little bit, and I've tried to draw him into crypto. He goes, I don't know, I don't want to. I'm like, you have no idea, man. You need to be accepting crypto for silver. I said, right now, if you started accepting crypto for silver, he goes, yeah, but then I got to turn it into money. Oh, boo hoo, boo hoo, and it's these people, they step on their own feet, and so again, let the dead bury themselves. But we discussed what's coming, and I told him just what I just told you at the top of this show. I see a stock market crash by the end of this month. I see a massive, okay, crash might be an overused word. I see a massive downward correction to the point people are going to go, what the hell? All right, so let's just leave it at that. Enough that it's going to cause a wave through every other financial aspect. Yeah, yeah, Silva Clinks, that's me messing around. So, and he just kind of looked at me like, really? I'm like, yes, really. And I said, and by the way, your silver's about ready to exceed $30 an ounce. He's like, really? And he goes, you think so? He always asks me like, do you think so? Well, I wouldn't say it if I didn't think so. I don't talk out my ass, and if I either believe it or I don't say it. I don't speculate. And so I said, we've had these talks about silver going to 600, which is going to play back into Double Down's little scheme here that he's got going with his home equity. We're gonna tie all these stories together. So let's look at the. I see silver going to $600 here very very soon. I see silver going to 25 soon, 30 soon, 100 very soon. Let's assume it goes no higher than that. Okay. I think that there's many target prices for silver. We're not even going to talk about gold. And if you guys are new to the channel and don't really understand why I'm not discussing gold, do a little deep dive on silver and you'll find out why I own no gold. You'll understand really really quickly why I own no gold, because it's not the play to be making. It's just not. So anyway, I told him $600 an ounce many times, but I told him I think you're going to be seeing here probably by the time we get to November, you're going to be seeing prices you haven't seen for a long time and prices you've never seen on silver soon. And no change in pulse. He just looks at me like, yeah, well, could happen. I'm like, dude, do you not understand what's going on in the world? I go, and so I left that discussion. So he listens to me, but I don't think he takes much of it to heart. So the parking lot was empty, and I said, I can tell you why that is, because it's the same as crypto. So let's move crypto over here. So let's move silver in real quick. Let's finish our talk on silver. Do you think that silver should be going ballistic right now in light of the Israel situation? Well, I think anybody with a reasonable expectation would, but I forecasted that it would be going down. And this stuff is manipulated. How would I know that we're going to be doing this general move if I didn't have a system that could predict it? It's all about the system, guys. There's nothing random about the moves that are going on. And so silver will continue to go down for a little bit, but you got to have it because the dollar is going to go a little bit further. Sooner or later, this system's going to break. Now, if the pattern holds, the system that's holding this in a downward pattern works, we will get down to my next target buy price. This is a big one. When we get down here, we'll get down here again. We almost hit it here a little while ago. But when the system breaks, she's off the chain and off we go. And it's going to go up. So will we see this next third wave? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. In fact, I think by the time we get to about right here, which is April 24, the system's going to be so broken they just can't suppress it anymore. So here's the thing that I want to tell you guys who do not own silver right now that are should I buy more? Should I buy more? And we'll come to double down situation, my prognosis for his situation. Silver right now, when I went into Jerry, he says, God, I said, are you having supply line problems? I always like to ask him. First question out of my mouth, how's the supply looking? Great, not having any problem whatsoever. in the world we're living in right now, does that strike you as odd? And he's very forthright with me about can you get it or not, and sometimes he'll tell me it's been a little slow, a little hard to get. He said not having any problems getting it at all right now. Interesting. And in fact, here's the other thing that he told me. These coins I'm clinking together, less than $2 markup right now. $1.98. $1.98 an ounce. That ain't bad, kids. Not bad at all. And I buy when I've got a handful of bucks. I tend to try to gravitate to the larger collections like the 10 ounce, the 50 ounce, the 100 ounce. I do buy the 1,000 ounce, but I just had a couple $1,000 in my pocket, so I was just grabbing the 10 ounces. These coins that I got in my hand are just rounded out. I don't want any change back. Give me silver that represents everything. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing but the cobwebs in my pockets. And so, I got a little junk silver. I got 4 ounces, 4 round Buffalo rounds, and the rest of it was in 10 ounces. That's what I ended up with today. Plus, I got a couple of other things I got. And so, but it's $2. Now, if you buy the 10 ounce, it's $1.50 per ounce times 10. If you get larger denominations or larger bricks of it, it gets cheaper. But right now, if you got, McDonald's money, we'll just say it. If you got McDonald's money and you only got $200 or $300, go to a silver dealer right now. You're going to probably likely, unless they're screwing you over, you're going to be paying less than $2 markup on it. That is not at all bad, especially that we're this far down the line towards total disaster and meltdown that you can even pull that off. That's a fan, and he's rarely very emotional about anything. He goes, this is he goes, I can't recommend it enough. Buy. I've never heard him say that, never. And so he was quite adamant. He was like, I'm telling everybody, buy pull up the floorboards. Buy his exact words, pull up the floorboards. Buy everything you possibly can because you don't see things like this very often. His words, not mine. So let's get on to double down. Let's get on to a few other people that have questions. So double down. Yeah, you got a ton of money there, but let's just make the assumption. So you must have a much larger house than that, or you must have a huge home equity line on a mostly paid for house. We didn't discuss that, but. So let's take a theoretical $100,000 house, $25,000 in equity, $25,000 in equity. So home equity line of credit. If you were to take that 25,000, what could you do with it? Well, strippers and cocaine, of course, that's option B. But you could buy crypto. I I would advise that you don't, and I use the word advise. I would not advise that you do that because it is speculative. It is scary speculative to do so. Yes, we all like, love, and believe in crypto, but again, none of us can necessarily, really say, even me with my system can really say when that ultimate day is going to happen where, all sins will be forgiven and you can pay back with the profits, et cetera, et cetera. And, day by day, minute by minute, it changes. And it could be a while before we see anything come to a point where it'll rise, where the home equity loan could be paid back, and basically have anything left over after that. Now, metals, different situation. Metals are a very smart move with this because metals basically hold value or they go up once the suppression stops, which I think, as I just told you here, will probably be stopping here pretty darn soon in the next 45 days, I would imagine. uh, we're going to see prices that just get absolutely out of control. So if a person were to, like right now, as I just said, so 22 plus 2, you're looking at $24, less than $25 an ounce. Less than $25 an ounce for a single round Buffalo coin. Now, if that were to go up to $100, you'd have a 400 for a 4x markup. Just with a $100 silver price, you could sell that silver back and pay off your house. Or you could let it ride. You could pay back your loan and keep the other 75% for yourself and just continue to pay your mortgage. The prospect is wildly good. But here's the thing. I want to take this to some dark places because I want to really explain. I'm going to kind of link another person who called me last night who's got a much more dire situation, and I won't call him out by name. He's in a bad situation. Good friend of mine, and he's got a business that he bought. Well, basically they defrauded him by without telling too much about his business. It's an HVAC business, heating and cooling business, and he had sold his other business and was going to move to Texas, and it just didn't work out, and so he's staying where he's at, which is not a good place, and things are just going from bad to worse. And meanwhile, tale as old as time, he bought this business and it's not what it was professed to be or claimed to be. And a lot of money was collected. We've heard this story before over and over again. This guy sold a business that had already kind of raped the business and tried to sell the shell. Well, my friend, being a trusting person that was doing the right thing, apparently the seller was not, and he took on a bunch of debt, not realizing how bad things really were. I'll just leave it at that. And so now he's faced with, I think, what did he say, some $250,000 worth of debt, etc. And he's got some assets. And so we had a really long strategy talk about what's the worst that can happen. I'd really love to drill down on this, but I don't want to sidetrack the core conversation. But I want to talk a little bit about the things that I have taught in real estate classes over the years. I think a lot of you have a false understanding of what these banks can do to you if shit goes bad. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not suggesting you willfully go out and short a loan and don't pay it back or whatever, but I want you to understand the odds are definitely stacked in your favor. Okay, get the drift of what I'm saying here? Okay. So I told my friend who was like, I think he said a $300,000 loan. He's got a $300,000 business loan, et cetera, et cetera. And, I've got assets. I said, well, then you need to sell those assets and, uh, um, and put it into silver or something, or put it into, something. Just get it out of there, rebuild your life, whatever. And his main concern and his question was, he's like, oh, I don't want to move anything around because I don't want to get accused of whatever and end up going to jail. And I said, well, let me explain something to you. Uh, no one has ever, when they're just trying to keep a business floating, there's nothing illegal about selling assets of a business if you're not doing with the intent of closing the business and running and defaulting the loans. People, I've witnessed this trillion times, if not a trillion and one times. People will, cut off their hand to save their arm. with houses. I was the largest foreclosure buyer in the Midwest for a very long time, and I've sat down in front of thousands of people. And it's always the same thing. They stop paying on certain things, and eventually it atrophies to a certain point where it's just a roof over your head, and then they'll let their car go before they let their house go, but they won't. There's just things that they will do in a line of succession before things go bad. And where do I want to go with this? What I told him was this: don't. He was afraid he was going to end up in jail because of not being able to pay back the loan. I go, there has not been debtor's prison for a very, very long time. I go, what you're dealing with, and I want to speak to some of you who are listening to me. I know for a fact that there are 5 of you listening to me right now who I've had private discussions with, and I haven't mentioned this to you guys, so there's probably a hell of a lot more of you that have not admitted that are listening to this. What I want you to understand is there is no such thing as debtor's prison. None. If you can't pay your bills with a credit card company, F them. Walk away, give them the finger, and don't worry about it. There are situations. What this guy was asking me is, should I file bankruptcy? I'm like, well, that's what an attorney's going to tell you to do. And again, this is not an advice channel. I'm just telling you my personal opinion. I didn't, and I lost 3,000 some odd houses after 9/11. I had a bad credit, I had bad credit, stacks of bad credit, fatter than a New York phone book. I'm not joking. If you printed out every single negative credit thing, foreclosure, whatever, that son of a bitch was 5 inches tall. 5 inches tall and by the time 2 years clicked off, not a single one of them was on my credit, because there is a way to get that stuff off your credit. So what I'm telling you is, you people that are in foreclosure, one of my moderators, as a matter of fact, is kind of just right on death's door with that. Um, this too shall pass. Give it the college try. Try to save your house, because you don't want to lose your house. But don't think for a single second you're going to debtor's prison, because you're not. And as far as to be able to correct your credit, you can correct it a lot faster than you think you can. In fact, I do have a course to do that, that we're going to be putting on Fibby charts, because boy, now is probably one of the best times to learn this. I'm going to be teaching this, and having a course complete with videos, forms. Just watch this video, fill out this piece of paper, put your bad credit on this, send it in, and 3 rounds with these guys, you get yourself cleaned up, and you end up with better credit than you probably got right now. And that will be available. So again, if you guys are listening just kind of passively and not subscribed with us, join me over at fibbycharts.com. Join me at the unfairadvantage.chat. Ask me about that, because if enough of you guys start asking me about that, I'll get serious and post it. But I've already got it. It's a kit that I can offer to you if you guys are in a situation. There's nothing wrong with having bad credit, but there's nothing wrong with having better credit too. You still need good credit, and we're not quite to the social credit score part of the show yet, but when we get there, you're definitely gonna want it. But anyway, we can help clean that up. So, kind of bringing all these stories together. What I told the guys that were in bad situations, like, you need to basically sell what you can sell, take legally take that what assets you can collect for yourself, and just basically set it aside and buy assets, something that you can walk away from, and just let the damn business fail. And then here's the other part of that story. They sold him a junk business knowingly, and it was a fraudulent transfer of a business. And I said, so there is no way in hell you're going to go to jail. You're certainly not going to be held responsible. Well, what about these poor people that paid the deposits? Did they pay deposits to you? No, they didn't. They paid it to the other guy who hauled ass and sold his junk to you. So no, there's not a court in the land that'll probably hold him responsible for it, whether he signed his name on it or not, because he signed under false pretenses. And so I'm trying to help him rebuild his life and get a strategy together. And we are on death's doorstep. And I was having this discussion with him last night and the night before and the night before. You've got to get a battle plan. And as far as moving forward, kind of going down this rabbit hole a little bit further, as far as moving forward, you got to be taking title to things in the names of trusts, in the names of LLCs. Don't put anything in your name. Get out of society. Don't let anything be in your name. And I would advise the same to all you guys that are buying properties now through our associations, through all you guys that are interested in the real estate stuff that I'm doing, that are down there. Hopefully, going to be my new neighbors down in the Arkansas at the Arkansas properties. Buy and trust, super easy to do. We can show you how to do that. So back to the silver discussion. Uh, I told this guy to buy silver, same as I would tell any of you guys. And so to pull out home equity and buy something, I would highly push and prod you towards metals because it just makes more sense. It's something that you can carry. Uh, we've discussed this endlessly from several different facets. It currently right now, let's transition into crypto a little bit. Currently right now, there's a situation where crypto is being lassoed under the control of the powers that be. And I told you this was coming 2 years ago. I told you that, this will be poo-poo and drug dealer money until the big boys get a seat at the table, and then it'll be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Was I right? Was I right? Because you're seeing it, and it's happened just day by day, course by course. First they resist you, and then sooner or later, then it's a great idea, and it's their idea, and then you should buy some from us. And so this is the way that this has progressed. And I said this 2 years ago. This is what was going to happen. 2.5 years ago, actually. And so now that these ETFs are starting to come out. And by the way, watched a little slip of the tongue on CNBC. Gary Gensler's taking an entirely different posture now. He was asked by a reporter about the ETF, and he let it slip, or basically said with a kind of a smirk on his face, oh yeah, there's about 8 or 10 more people, more ETFs that are being applied for right now. What does that tell you guys? We're on the cusp of things starting to legitimize here very, very quickly for crypto. Now, again, I just to kind of cut to the back end of this, don't think it's going to be this week. You're going to see all these little hope pumps and whatnot, FOMO pumps, but the real business is going to start to be done in 2025. I've been saying that to the group for a very long time. There's just reasons to believe that because you can see that's when they're telling you. And 2024 will be the run up to that. The backside, the second half of 2024 will be the run up to that, and you'll see legitimate moves up starting in the second half of 2024. But you will not see anything that you can really sink your teeth into that's going to hold ground because we are going to see a crypto crash as well. And I've explained why that is because basically the dollar's fighting hard to stay legitimate, and the powers that be need that dollar to be legitimate. What do you think silver will be at the end of November? I'll get to that, Bob. Give me a second here, and just you might have to re-ask that question. But 2 R's in Barron. Yeah, you got okay. My middle name is Barron. That's where Barron comes from. So they're fighting. King Dollar is fighting very, very hard. So I told you that I don't know if I did this publicly or not. I know I did it in VIP. So let me explain. A lot of this is just kind of fragmented lectures. So tolerate me here. I'll sew this all together. Why are we giving so damn much money to every country that holds its hands up, but we're not doing anything for us? Well, the reason why is because we need those junk US dollars in other markets. That's the truth, guys. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on in the world, bribery and whatnot, but the core real reason, and I have this on high good authority and obviously my understanding, we need those dollars to be out in the world. Well, we'll just trade with the Chinese. They don't want our shit. They're selling our bonds left and right, trying to get the hell out of this. So how are we going to get the US dollar into other markets? Well, the only way, listen to me, the only way we can push US dollars into other markets is to give it away. And I know that sounds so absolutely insane. But when you print it for free, shit, it ain't worth anything. We'll just give it to somebody, just give it away. So if they're giving money, and of course everybody's got their hand in the pocket all the way along the process. But if we're giving money to Ukraine, and now Israel, and all over the globe to other places that we're handing money out, what do you think happens? Well, now let's just take Israel, for example. Now Israel's going to be getting a giant stimmy package from Biden, and they're going to have all these U.S. dollars. Well, what are they going to do with those U.S. dollars? They're going to buy shit, guys. They're going to trade it for something. They're going to do something. But those dollars, and the key thing is, that it's not in our shores, not in our coffers here in America. So that means that we're still in the game as far as our dollars. It's still in the game. Somebody's trading with our dollars. Do you get that? That's a very key indicator, a very key point of this discussion. This is why we are funding every single good cause, bad cause, or stupid idea in the world, but not doing anything for us here at home. This is why they don't give a fuck about the guys in Hawaii, because they're part of our ecosystem. But if Hawaii were another country, what do you want? Shit, let's give you 10x what you want. That's why. So if you could be some shitty little island nation out in the middle of somewhere, and if you hold your hand out, you're going to get some money from us because we want those dollars out there being spent. Because let's say Israel buys something from Italy or whatever, they're going to spend those U.S. dollars to do it. Now Italy's got a few bucks, and that's how it keeps the lubrication going, or it keeps the Ponzi scheme going. So eventually, that's going to stop, because there's just going to people that are just going to say, yeah, we're not going to take your dollars. What else you got? Because the devaluation is getting so bad that when it hits a point where the money that we give away to a country, by the time the money goes to be spent, it's literally losing value in the process of being spent. That's the point at which you're going to see the house of cards completely fall for the U.S. dollar, is when it's just losing value so fast you can't even literally get it out of your hands. And then we're closer to that than you think. And you'll see that in your food prices and whatnot. But back to the real quick, let me answer this because it's kind of tickling me here. What do I see silver prices being? I firmly follow Cliff High's belief on this. I think you're going to see wild fluctuations. So pick a day. I think we're going to see what we'll see is let me try to tie this dollar thing I just told you about to silver. When the dollar can't maintain anymore, it becomes harder to suppress things with it. I'm trying to speak in simple terms to people that don't understand, big financial concepts. When you got a dollar and you say, okay, well, I'm gonna take that dollar and I'm gonna force the price of silver down by $1. But the dollar is now worth 80 cents and 70 cents and 60 cents. It becomes harder to control the supply of silver. And I'm just sticking with silver. I mean, there's lots of things. Or the price of crypto, because the dollars just don't have the bang that they used to have. And this is what's truly going to make everything go through the goddamn roof, is the fact that the actual thing, fiat, can't be used as a tool for suppression because it's just not as effective as it used to be. And that's what's going to cause the explosion. It's not going to be the realization that people are better off that the dollar's losing value, so ergo people are buying crypto. It's that crypto should have been higher and silver and gold should have been higher to begin with. The act of suppression stops. That's what makes it go up. It's not to get back to the parking lot being empty over it. I speak in loops, or my stories work in loops in case you new people don't understand that. And so getting back to Jerry over at the silver dealer, his parking lot was empty. And he asked me, I can't figure it out. I can. Nobody's got any goddamn money. And those people that got money, the people that are respecting and understanding silver and gold, they're already in the game. Like me and the little Jewish ladies. We already know what this stuff is worth. We got shit tons of it. We'll buy more when we got it. And that was his little glut after the Israel war started. But the average Joe, he ain't got it. He's trying to buy toilet paper and baby diapers. He ain't got it. That's why you don't see crypto going through the goddamn roof. That's why you don't see, after 2 years, folks, XRP didn't do jack shit after that SEC announcement. It didn't. It went straight up to exactly where I said it was going to go. For you, those of you who are new, let me show you something. Just to kind of, I like to kind of hawk my system a little bit here, but let me show you exactly how accurate this system that you're looking at is, and my future predictions. So going back here, this is XRP. So pardon all the spaghetti here, but these lines going across are zones. For simplicity purposes, the day that the big so-called big news happened for XRP with the SEC or lawsuit thing, people had been hyping that nonstop. When that ends, man, we're going to the moon. And people in this group know what I've said. And I am one of the 1.1% of 1% wealthiest XRP holders on the planet. I've been buying since 2017. I have a law, never bet against the bankers. And I hold lots of it. Lots of it. But I have no false understanding of what the rules of the game are. I'm willing to wait. It's going to be 2025 before I reap the harvest. And so, no, don't sell your ISOs. Um, but when the pump happened, I'm like, everybody in the group was like, "Oh, is this it? Is it?" And I just said, "Nope, nope." And everybody's like, "Here it goes, here it goes." And I said, we were down here and it was taking off, taking off. And I said, "Listen, guys, there was less garbage on here, these color bands at the time." I said, "We're going to stop right there." And I made this line right there. And we went up and we settled right back down. Actually, I set it up here, but I've taken some of the marks off. I said, we're going to stop right here. When it pulled back, I said, this is it. We're done. And within 2 hours of me saying that, we dumped and we went back to the line that I drew. And I said, we're going to be in this channel for a little bit and then we're going to fall. And fall we did. So she kept on going down and down. And, the new shiny wore off that real fast. The new car smell left real fast on this. And look what happened. Right back down where we're at. So to move over here to Bitcoin, to get back to this, I've been watching this ETF. So it seems to kind of put a cap on this. News just does not carry the day like it used to. So if you guys are play the news, sell the news, that doesn't really work quite as well as it used to. And people scratch their head like, you would have thought, let's just go back and look at this for just a second. You would have thought that this particular move or this particular spot of news would have taken this thing absolutely stratospheric, but it only went up 1x. 1x after 2 years. 2 years of wandering in the desert. And this is all we get after basically the largest thing. Now, there was other news that came behind this. The SEC got off of Brad and his buddy's ass now too. That lawsuit got let go from the SEC. Where's the hype? People like Jack the Rippler are on Twitter, just boom, boom, just hyping and shilling. And kind of a part-time thing with me is to get on Twitter and crush egos because every time they are boom, 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 I'm like, not gonna do shit, not gonna do shit. And I'll show them the charts and I'll show them why it's not gonna happen. But they just keep saying, oh, this is gonna be it, this is gonna be it. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. Nope. And the core reason why is because nobody has any money. And they're saying it right now. This is why there's nobody in the silver dealer's parking lot. Nobody has any discretionary money. The money that is smart money has already taken a seat at the table. Those are the people that are clinking the silver in your ear as you listen to me. We know and we've known for a long, long time. And we're holding on to this stuff and we're buying more when it amuses us, when we get pocket change. But our big bags are loaded. We're good to go. We're good to go. Anytime, bring it on, baby. Bring it on. But the people that are in the market right now, they're buying a little bit more. The people that are making these little micro pumps that you're seeing, these rolls, some of this is wash trading. Some of it is just opportunistic fish, low liquidity markets, whatever. People trying to get a little action going. The whales trying to get a little action going. But let's bring Bitcoin into the conversation. I'm sorry, this is HBAR, but let's bring both of them into the conversation. So here's Bitcoin. So the ETF. So this big ETF news, tell me why, if it's supposed to be as big a news as everybody's making it out to be, I'll go ahead and I'll take this off here. This is the most you get out of it. Now you can very clearly see a trend here before I bring all the spaghetti back. And I showed this trend going way back here, starting way back May 2022. There is a very clear suppressive trend. We can move this up a little bit more and actually be accurate here as well. There, and there. We haven't crossed anything. My gestalt, this is what I call it. It's part of my training with the 21 group. I showed a high and a rise and a drop. I'm telling you right now, guys, if you're new to this channel, I'm going to tell you something you don't want to hear, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Daddy's going to give you the medicine. This shit's going to go in the toilet. It's going to go down. It's going to go up for a while, get some more fish in, and they're going to drop and rug you so bad you're going to go, what the hell happened? And when your butt's hitting the floor, that's when it's going to get really bad because bonds are going to go down, stocks are going to go down, money's going to lose value, and it's going to be raining blood out of every financial orifice you can possibly imagine, and the world is going to lose its ever-loving fucking mind. But I'm telling you right now, it's coming. In the next 90 days, all of this will come to pass. When it gets to the point where bonds have gone down, it's done. We're done. The stock market is just the start. When it gets to the point where bonds go down, we're done. And so crypto will go down as well. And I've made this point over and over and over again, and I think you really need to understand this. And I've witnessed this being the leader of this group. We have people, many of them, who are in the chat right now, are no longer VIP subscribers. They can't afford to be. They want to be. They know there's value in what I talk, in what I say, but they can't even afford to be in because they're raping their own bags because they have to pay rent, they have to buy baby diapers, they got to get gas to get to work on Monday. This is the reality of the crypto market. So, what's going to make crypto go up? What's going to make this stuff go up? Institutional buyers. It's the only people with money left. And they've made it very, very clear, very, very clear when they're going to do that because they don't move sporadically. They move with a plan, and they make that plan publicly available to the public in their white papers, in their stock market reports, in their quarterly reports. The date is 2025. It will not happen before 2025. So if anybody, any of these skateboard kids, any of these YouTube personalities that got 300,000 followers, God knows why they do, because they're handing out shit advice. If any of these people give you an inkling that it's going to happen anytime sooner than that, they're fooling themselves because there is no money in these markets, real money. It's just the same money passing back and forth from one thing to the other. Now, I showed you, as you can very clearly see, this red band has been here for a very long time. We haven't even left it. I showed where the limitation was. This is the zone. So we have not only a trend here, but we have a limitation band here going across. We have an operational band. We haven't broken out of anything. We're not fully at $36,000. So can we go further? It just depends on how bad they want to do it. The only thing that's going to make this run up higher is basically manufactured money, not new investors. Let's be very, very clear. Not new investors. You and I, Joe Lunchback at Sally Workaday, those people haven't got the money to push the momentum higher on Bitcoin. It is only first and second tier institutional investors who are not interested in paying these prices. Let's be abundantly serious about that. They're not interested in paying $34,000 prices. What they're interested in paying is the prices that I forecasted way back when of $15,000 or less. It's right here, folks. I've said it over a year ago. We are going to see these prices. I'm holding the line for right now at around about $16,000. That's my first call, but I'm allowing for wicks and really bad stuff to take us even lower. Could we go to 2,200? Well, I'm putting it there to say, that I told you it's possible. But could we get down to 87.25? Yes, I think we could. But I want to see 16 first and take a look and see what's going on in the world. But, I know a lot of you guys who've never listened to me before, like, this guy's out of his damn mind. But he kind of sounds interesting, like he knows what he's talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 30 and a half years, folks. I've been doing it for 3.5 decades. It's been a long, long road. Made millions, lost millions. And, you don't do that without learning a thing or three. So I try to learn. I stand on the shoulders of giants, as the old saying goes. Some of my best friends are billionaires and multimillionaires, and I see the reports and the stories, the way that they handle money, and I'm spread out all over the world. I also have a foundation called the Millstone Project that is in third world countries like Cuba and Kenya and Thailand and the Philippines and in several different places that we're opening up here this year, and that basically rescue abandoned children. And so by being involved in those third world countries, I see how the bitterly poor countries are being treated and handle money. One of the early things that I'm privy to because I got my boots on the ground over there. I was in Kenya for 6 months. Yeah, you can do. Go ahead, just fire your questions. I was in Kenya for 6 months when COVID got started. I got trapped there. They wouldn't let me come home. You guys that have subscribed to me, you know that story. Um, and so I understand the Kenyan culture very well because I also have a foundation over there. And at the time, my girlfriend was a Maasai tribal girl over there, or was the lineage or heritage as a Maasai tribe. And so I understand Kenyans very, very well. And so I also understand the president very well. Who, it's a third world country. Everybody's on the grift, And so when COVID got started, the president's like, everybody must wear a mask. Well, the president, God blessed him, went out and invested in a medical supply company. And what do you think he did? He suggested or he demanded that everybody buy this brand of mask because nothing else is acceptable. That's the world we live in. And so he made buku money off of his own citizens. And that's the downside. Everybody's on the take. Everybody's on the take. But when I got back home, this was what, 8 months ago now, he issued a report, or he issued a speech. He actually got at the podium and told everybody in the country, clear as a bell, he says, if you are holding American dollars, get rid of them now. He said this 8 months ago. And everybody's like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, nothing but flies and starving kids, over there. What the hell does this guy know? Oh, he knows an awful lot. He knows an awful lot. And I've explained why he knows an awful lot to my group before because Kenya is on what's called the New Silk Road. His master is China. He knows exactly what the goddamn score is. You best believe he knows what the score is. So he told his people, get out of American dollars. If you're holding American dollars, don't do it anymore. So they basically just there it is right there, guys. Uh, get rid of American dollars. Don't take them. Don't hold them. Don't have them. There it is. One country example 8 months ago. Now, I'll give you a little insight, my insight. This is one of the reasons why people like to subscribe to me is because I'll tell you things you'll never hear from anybody else because of firsthand experience. I try to pay my operational people over there at my foundation. Can't pay them in American dollars. I have to pay them in crypto because I cannot wire them U.S. dollars anymore. They won't take them. Now, have you heard that on the news? No, you won't. Have you heard that anywhere? Anywhere. Can you probably even find it on the internet? Doubtful, not without looking. But I'm telling you, because I'm experiencing it, I cannot wire money to my Kenyan staff in US dollars. It has to be paid in crypto. It's the fastest, cheapest way. And by the way, will you pay by crypto? Do they have computers over there? Let me tell you, without getting too far down a rabbit hole and changing the subject, yeah, very much so. Kenya is one of the most technologically savvy countries in Africa, far more than we are. And I've told this story umpteen times, but it bears repeating. When Bitcoin was created, the very next year, they created something called M-PESA. PESA, P-E-S-A, is Swahili, their native language, for money. Money. When you buy a Samsung or a Motorola or a Sony smartphone, and everybody's got one, uh, you have an app built on your phone to trade M-PESA. When I went over there and I had to have my Diet Pepsi or whatever and go to the gas station and get a Diet Pepsi, I show up with my Visa credit card and I load up the counter. I get up to the counter, go to pay the guy, and I whip out my Visa card to go to pay him. He's like, yeah, do we have the machine around here somewhere? I thought, what kind of business are you running here? You don't have your, and they don't take Visa and MasterCard. Well, they do, but not so much. They don't even know where the goddamn machine's at. They got it in the back somewhere on a shelf because they just don't use it. Well, how do they pay for stuff? They pay for stuff with M-PESA, which is basically electronic money. Hear what I'm saying? They've been doing this since the year after Bitcoin was invented. M-PESA, electric money. It's been right there proving itself over and over. That's what you're going to be having here in America. The so-called leader of the world doesn't know shit compared to these test bed places in Africa. M-PESA, if you get in a cab, if you pay for groceries, if you person to person, the dream is real. It's been around for damn near 2 decades in Africa. Africa? Yes, Africa. They have it. And it's so surreal to you guys. My girlfriend's grandfather is 101, well, 103 at this point, and he's still alive. 103 years old, Maasai warrior, runs down lions with a spear, okay, holding a cell phone in one hand and a spear in the other, dressed in the traditional garbs with the rings in his ears and stuff like that. It's surreal. Everybody's got it, and that's how they pay. How do you put money on? Well, it works like this. Everything is pay as you go. And I've told these stories before in my group. Everything is pay as you go. This is the world we are translating towards, or we're transitioning towards. You Everything you do, your phone, the rest of the world marvels that we have such a thing as a month by month subscription because like in the Philippines, like in Kenya, like in Cuba, like every place that I go, Spain, whatever, everybody pays as you go. So in other words, you go to a place or a hut or a 7-Eleven or whatever, a banana hut off in the side of the road, and you pay an authorized reseller a certain amount of money. It's referred to in the Philippines as load. So if you want, 25 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, you pay X number of pesos or shillings or shekels or whatever you pay, and you buy that, you get a code from that person, you enter that code on your phone, and you're good to talk for 30 minutes. When that code runs out, crickets. You're done talking and you have a monitor. Now, we all know that's coming. And you could do that kind of in America right now with some of these things, but that's the way it's going to be. That is tokenization, guys. If you don't understand the connection between that, that is tokenization. Sooner or later, you will buy a crypto, enter the crypto, and that's how it does. But I'll take you a step further. In Kenya, no, there are no power companies that come out and hook up your power and climb up a pole and plug you in. No, no. They've got something that's about the size of a calculator that plugs into your wall. And so you enter, so you basically you pay with your M-PESA over the phone. You buy yourself X number of minutes or kilowatt hours on your electricity. And what's done, you're sitting in the dark. It happened to me many times. My girlfriend would be like, she'd walk over to the wall and pick up that plug. She'd look at it, she goes, "Oh, we got about X number of minutes." So we'd be watching Netflix and the damn power would go out and the whole place would just go dark like that. Nobody coming out sending you nasty bills or anything like that saying saying please pay your bill or you're behind. They'll just turn your ass off. It's judge, jury, and executioner. There's no one to argue with. And if you want it to turn back on, go find yourself some money, enter the code, enter it in your little calculator thing, and just that fast your power's back on. And you don't even have to talk to a human being. That's coming to America. That's referred to as Energy Web. And Energy Web is a leader in this right now, currently. Energy Web, to get on this, just to kind of show you here, I'll go down the right-hand side, is one of these companies that will be operating exactly like that. If I can find it, it's been a while since I've seen it. It's this one right here. If you recognize this one here, I'll just take a look at this because I don't pay that much attention to it, but it has been a much higher price, much higher price. When it was clear up here, I forecasted 98 cents. Well, would you look at that? Look where we're going. We're heading right on down there. So when we get into the crash situation where things start to go down, we're going to hit these prices, $1, and you should be stocking up on this because the world needs energy. Energy will be tokenized. So you were warned. All right, so to kind of get back to some questions here. Yeah, so you can go ahead and launch your questions at me if you want. If these 16K BTC prices come true, will this happen sometime in 2024 or 25? No, sooner than that. Sooner than that. We're talking a matter of weeks, if not months. I really honestly see it happening before the end of the year, if not the first part of 2024. I just basically, let's reason through this. And I've done this so many times. I don't mean to bore the guys that listen to me a lot, but let's reason through this. We're going into fall. What happens in fall? Well, things get expensive. It gets expensive. Prices are going up on food. Prices are going up on everything. And now you got a heating bill. Most of the world's got a heating bills to contend with because now we're in the winter months. So there's another thing that's more expensive. So less and less and less money. And again, I've said this already in this broadcast. People are like, oh God, I got to keep the heat on or we're going to freeze to death and my job and I lost my job or whatever. And what am I going to do? Well, I don't want to take that crypto. I don't want to sell my crypto. Yeah, talk to me when you're sitting in the cold and below zero and the pipes in your house are freezing up. Tell me what you will and won't do. You're listening to the sound of someone who has literally sat in front of thousands of people in foreclosure with no jobs. I know exactly what you're going to do. I can predict your move before you can. You're going to sell your crypto because you have nothing else going for you. If you lose your job, and I'm talking in worst case scenario. So this is why to kind of go back and encapsulate an earlier discussion in VIP, this is why I said before everything gets really bad, you need to have a garage sale. You need to sell when there's still ignorant buyers, when the rest of the world thinks, everything's great, great, great. You need to sell them all your crap that you don't need. Everybody who's VIP subscribers will tell you that's exactly the admonition that I gave. Sell, get the money now. Because the second thing that's going to happen, or one of the other things that's going to happen, is, and I saw this reference earlier today. People are watching Facebook. There is an amazing amount of stuff in Facebook Marketplace right now. We're starting to see more. What did he say? I'm seeing more estates than I've ever seen before. Huh? Wonder why? Wonder why? Jab, jab. But I won't get into that. But what you're going to have a problem with is you're going to see everybody selling everything they possibly can, and there are no buyers. So one of the other YouTubers that tends to think that this is a blessing, and I don't, is Economic Ninja. He's like, oh, you're going to get deals on cars. You don't want a car. You don't want to be buying a car when everything else is falling apart. You need a car, yes, but you shouldn't be buying toys when the world's burning. There'll be plenty of time to buy toys. Buy assets. I had a member of the group in here, and he's probably in here right now. I'm talking about all you guys, but I won't call you out by name. Had a group member in here that needs a new car, and so he's out there looking. I'm looking at a Toyota, and he gives me the price on this, $60,000. I'm like, dude, are you out of your mind? And so I had to talk him down off a ledge. So he went out and he found the same thing used, good one, cheaper, and actually somebody offered him some more money. Sold. Sell it to him. Never say no to a dollar. Never. If somebody wants to give you more than what you paid for anything, sell it. Go buy another one because prices of things are only going to go down. Instead of taking out the cash, would it be better to transfer it to an exchange, convert it to USDC, transfer it to a hardware wallet? No. USDT is basically a surrogate to the US dollar, and if the US dollar loses value, where are you at then? See that? I understand your question, Crypto Lady, but you have to remember you're still in de facto you're still in the US dollar, which as we are having this conversation is losing value. True? And I've used this, it's not an exact one for one analogy, but and we'll get on to crypto charts here pretty soon for you guys that are new. So just bear with me. I got a lot of stuff to unpack here. I save it all up and then I dump it all on you at one time. Um, the analogy that I give for metals is, these prices, yes, they're suppressed. They should be much higher than they are. We'll just be in agreement on that. But it is not a wealth appreciating asset. When prices go back to where they should be, and that's yet to be determined, easily over 600, easily probably silver 1-to-1 with gold at some juncture, just because of the 10 for 1 rarity of it. Don't want to go too deep in that discussion, but consider the fact that silver is worth a whole lot more than what it's priced at right now. Enough said on that. But the way that I approach and the way that I explain metals to people is like, think of the dollar as an elevator plummeting to the ground to the ultimate destruction. What you're doing is you as an investor are in that elevator. What you're doing when you're buying metals is you're not going up in the elevator. You're basically jumping off at a higher floor before the elevator eventually falls to the ground and crashes. So in other words, you're preserving yourself at a certain level higher than the crash dollar. So it's that's the closest visual representation that I can give. Well, thank you. Send me a message. If you want to get in VIP, just go to Fibby Charts and subscribe. But if you're in the group, if you want to buy charts, just once you do that, just send me a um, yeah, just send me messages if you want to buy charts. If you guys subscribe to VIP, it should be clear you should get messages. And by the way, I have to kind of break for station ID here. If you guys want to subscribe to VIP, just basically these are the prices right here. You can get in on the charts starting at 29.95, and that's Bitcoin, Xcoin, or all the X coins and stuff like that. These two do not come with elevated levels of chat in my daily conversation. When you get in, that's why we call it VIP. So if you get into gold, I think you got 35 or 40 top cryptos. This one you got quite a bit more, and we do have a level which is what I'm using here on your screen, which is Pro, which has just every tool in the charts, every tool that I've got. You got lots and lots and lots of cryptos that are in this, and so plus you got multiple charts on every single crypto. You got it from 15 minutes all the way out to a week, but then you got other stuff that comes along with that. And we do have a digital library, by the way, that is getting back online here, filled with about $2,500 worth of investor books and all kinds of stuff. So you just get all kinds of stuff like that come with it. I'm probably going to be running a special here as well, by the way. I'm redoing the crypto class, and some people that have subscribed to crypto class have lifetime subscriptions to that. So anything that I do going forward, they'll be able to get in on that. We have an online learning platform uh, that's based in Fibby Charts that's going to have. So if you guys want to get in on the credit repair course and stuff like that, it'd take me about a day to get that up. And you can subscribe to that, get all the forms, learn how to fix your credit now. If your credit's jacked up, or you think your credit's going to get jacked up, if you get in on the credit repair course, basically you have lifetime access to that. But we are going to be redoing here as soon as I get 5 minutes peace and quiet, which won't be anytime soon. We are going to put the full crypto class online. That has tests and quizzes and whatnot that will teach you everything. We do have a 45-minute video that teaches you how to read my spaghetti and how to understand this incredibly different system that I put together and how accurate it is, so that you can, if you don't understand what you're looking at, it's very hard to respect exactly how accurate it is, and how to take advantage of it without waiting for me to tell you what it says. And so it's all right here in front of you. You just gotta know how to read it. And so we'll get back into schooling you guys on a weekly basis on this stuff. But we do have a free video for 45 minutes if you subscribe to the charts and want to know, okay, what the hell do I do with this? What to do with that. And then the VIP, obviously, I'm in there kind of giving you my take on it anyway. So. All right. Is Hot Watch live? Yeah, that's a really good question. It is. And so, God bless him, Josh. I shouldn't use his real name. My right hand man, Corian, is busy working on an app for McMoney, which is our in-house crypto. And so he redid my Hot Watch deal. Let's see if I can get that pulled up here real quick. I do want to show you guys this stuff here. Only give me just a second. Nope, don't think I can. Hold on just a second. No, I can't find it here. I got my backdrop up. Pardon me. But no, Hot Watch. What Hot Watch is it's basically anytime like a key thing comes up, like it's time to buy, we've hit a critical level. It is running. However, we got to get the new alarms plugged in and stuff. So we are going to offer that as a individual free standalone thing like we did with Discord, but we are not ready to do that yet. We should be in about a week. It should be ready here. So the short answer is no, but it'll be running here probably within the next 7 days. It'll be accessible. And you guys that are in Platinum, VIP and up, you'll have Hot Watch Lite, which is automatically, guys that are in Platinum Pro obviously just get Hot Watch as part of what you're doing. Let's see, what else did I cover here? Any other questions? Any other questions? Somebody else had a question, and I think I glazed over it. I got to go back through my own questions. Um, Give me a minute here to get caught up. I'm sifting through. Oh, here's a good question. For those that are still in the stock market, what's worse, stocks or bonds? Yes. That's a really good question, actually. What's worse? Both of them. Both of them. Would you like to burn to death or freeze to death? It's basically the same thing. They both roads take you to the same destination. Um, let's go old school. Let's really go basic on this. Um, what is a stock? A stock is ownership of a company. What is a bond? A bond is a loan to that company. At its purest, most elemental level, that's what it is. So when I tell you that the stock market is going to go to hell, what I'm telling you is the companies that those stocks. So a stock represents a value. At least back in the day it used to. I mean, by no means does it anymore, but a stock represents the value of a company when they're not cooking the books and when they're not doing all the other bullshit that they do, which in other words means never uh, or always. A stock should, in good theory, represent the value of a company. So if I'm telling you that the stock market is going to crash. What I'm really telling you is one of two things, probably both. What I'm telling you is that somebody has been wildly inflating the prices of what these companies are really worth. Do you think, let's be honest, do you think there's a possibility in this world that that might be happening? Yes or no? Now the other thing is if we're given to believe that um, a stock should represent the value, in other words, the earnings, which it kind of does to a portion of that of said company. And I'm telling you that the stock market is going to crash. That should tell you that these companies who put out quarterly reports, by the way, they put them out January, May, August, October, first, second, third, fourth quarters of the year. They put out quarterly reports to their stockholders. Say, hey, we making any money or we losing money? Well, you know what they're doing. And so to make it funny here, let's say you got stock in Applebee's. Now, Applebee's doesn't want to look like a loser company. Applebee's, by the way, I always have to explain this to the world audience. It's a kind of just a chain restaurant, kind of shit food, whatever. But it's kind of a bar and grill type thing. So there's just one in every major city in America. So let's say you, for whatever reason, just think Applebee's is a real winner. You buy Applebee's stock at whatever it's worth, or what they say it's worth, and it's losing value. Well, why is it losing value? Well, it might be part of a portfolio of a large company like BlackRock, which is basically probably doing its level best to support its own self-worth interests, which a lot of them are. That's part A of the cookbook part of it. But the reality is why is it going down? Because ain't nobody eating at Applebee's. Because A, the food sucks, and B, ain't nobody got no money. Truth, truth. Anybody ever had a steak at Applebee's? It's not exactly the first place I would go for a steak, so I'm just saying. But there's better places to spend your money, and Applebee's is not one of them. So ergo, they're not making any money. Stock goes down. So to take that analogy and say, okay, well, there's 50, 60, 100, 100,000 other companies where people are not spending their money. The values are going down. So we end up with a situation where there's cooked books trying to make things look better than they really are, because that's just lying and cheating and stealing is just natural way of doing business anymore. Don't trust any of them. Side thing comes to mind, by the way, as I click my silver here, which is kind of germane to this conversation. Had this conversation yesterday. A guy was asking me, hang on a second, I want to make sure. Yeah, okay. A guy was asking me, so should I buy silver stocks? Should I buy gold stocks? Should I buy gold mines? Oh Christ, please no, 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 no. It's not the same. You can't do this. You cannot do this with a with a anything other than the real thing held in your hands. Owning a mining stock is not that. It's not. What you've got is promise of value. There's a lot of people involved in a mining operation, and I've said this many times. My family owns gem mines throughout the Southwest. I can firsthand tell you that it is a shitty, dirty, disgusting, boom and bust business that some days you're king of the world, some days you're sweeping the floors. Most days you're sweeping the floors. You're only as good as your last find. And then we've got the world that you need to sell the product to afterwards. And again, ain't nobody got no money. So if you own a silver mine, if you own a gem mine or a gold stock or a mining stock, let me teach you what's involved in this, or remind you what you should already know. How does that stock derive its value? Well, it derives it from the price of gold. Oh, no, 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 no. It derives it from the operational costs minus the profit from the product it pulls out of the ground. I don't think anyone's ever slowed down to really realize that. And what do I mean by that? I mean those gigantic mega $1 million mining trucks and those god awful huge tires they got. One of those tires is $36,000 to $50,000 for a piece of freaking rubber on one of those multi-million-dollar rigs. The gas, the diesel, the employees, the insurance, the office, the paper, the stamps, everything, all of that goes into the offset cost of your mining stock. And not a one of it goes clink, clink, clink. You can't count on any of it because the cost of stamps goes up, the cost of diesel goes up, the cost of those rubber tires goes up, the cost of maintenance goes up. Your people go on strike. You don't pull anything out of the ground. Mining stocks are a stupid idea. Don't do it. On top of that, you're getting a promise from a third party. And the old adage goes, and every single one of you have said it, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Don't buy mining stocks. Buy the stuff itself. Go straight to the source. God's money, if you will. Hold on to that. Hold on to that. So my headphones are beeping at me here, telling me that I'm running long. So give me a minute here. I want to switch over here, and I'll take a pause, intermission here for a second. Let me switch over my headphones, and we'll continue on. We'll talk a little bit about crypto forecast. All right, can everybody hear me here? I want to make sure that my levels are back up. Anyone hear me? Testing one, two, three. Testing, testing. Very. Yeah, I know. For some reason, whatever. Here, how about that? Better? Testing, testing. Muted? I'll give you a minute. I had my volume. For whatever reason, my volume's really low on that one. No charts yet. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. All right, so give me. Oh my God, if anything ever worked right. sound like I'm a million miles away, it's because it's picking up off my headphone or off of my camera. So hold on just a second, guys. I got to get swapped over here to what I see what's going on. All right. I sound like I'm a million miles away because I am. I'm leaning back in my chair. You're picking up off my video camera on my desk, off of my cam phone. So all right, now I know what's going on here. So I'm adjusting everything. I couldn't figure out why. It's my video cam phone you're hearing. So. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to like restart here because the only way I can kind of get Q back in, there's just once you lose connection with something, it doesn't like it. So give me a minute here. We'll call this edition one, and hang tight with me, and I will be back in about 30 minutes. Let's let this headphone thing charge up and give you guys a chance to re-listen to what I've said, and then we'll do cryptos on